Hey guys, it's Mark from Death Angel, and you're watching Metal on Loud. Yes.
There we go.
All right. Cheers.
Thank you for joining the podcast, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for, supporting fucking rock and metal and keeping it alive during this crazy time for all of us.
It's very important, yeah. I think many people can use a little bit extra metal in their diets.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So how are things in your world, man?
Pardon me?
How are things in your world?
Oh, they're doing good. I'm to a certain degree. It seems like things are lightening up now and opening up slowly. So, with that being said, my sanity is getting somewhat more stable. I'm gonna have to say, during the whole pandemic, it's been a bit rough because no music, and music's my life. Of course, I listen to music. I'm creating music, but performing music has been part of my DNA since it's for the majority of my life, and having that kind of missing from it has definitely been an interesting adventure, so to speak. And the way I approach it is there's a positive way to go about it or a negative way to go about it, or I could be self-destructive or constructive. And I like to think that I have been constructive by taking care of myself, going on, waking up early because there's nothing to stay up late for. So I've been waking up earlier and going on morning walks and, exercising and just trying to be a bit healthier. So it keeps my mind healthy. And one good thing is, Death Angel, we get together, at least once a week just to get in the studio and jam. So there's some sense of, normalcy during all this. Yeah. So that being said, I'm doing okay, but I want the world to open up and we get back to touring.
So there wasn't a lot of Netflixing for you in the downtime?
Yeah, I guess, I definitely watch some shows here and there for sure. But I'm more of a guy who, throughout the day, there's always music playing. Mm-hmm. Music's really the thing that always, no matter what I'm doing, there's music playing, and music's my big thing. It's, but I have watched definitely probably more shows than I ever have in my adult life. But, when I hear to the degree some other people do it, I'm like, wow, what else do you do?
When you're listening to music, what kind of music is on your playlist?
It's very eclectic, to tell you the truth, and it depends. In the morning, when I first wake up, I like to, when I very first open my eyes and just kind of, get my wits about me, I usually put on something very mellow, whether it could be, early Miles Davis or Chet Baker or Bill Evans trio, stuff like that. But when I first wake up, and then then I'll go on my walk and then on my hikes, I just kind of put my stuff on shuffle. And then from there, you'll get everything from, early Sabbath to GBH and Discharge to Nina Simone, because it's just all over the place, to the Who to Patsy Cline. It's just because if it's on shuffle, it's just a song at a time, and it's a hodgepodge of stuff I love. So it carries me through the day. Yeah.
It's one of the wonders of this age, I think, that we can have that much music on shuffle.
Absolutely. But when I get back to the house and start working, then I listen to my vinyl. And then with the vinyl, I have a very eclectic vinyl collection too. But, then a lot of it veers towards, just like rock, whether and metal, but mostly classic stuff like, the Who, Queen, Sabbath, stuff like that,
Yeah. Well, you have a large collection probably built over the years. You've been in the rock industry for almost 40 years now. With the band.
Getting there, I know, it's crazy, right?
Yeah. Do you have anything special planned for that, or?
We'll see when we get there. It's just it's so odd because how do I say? it's because we've done a tour already. I think for the 25th anniversary, when was it the 25th when Ultraviolence came out? We did the Ultraviolence in its entirety. So, and I think that's probably be the only album we'd ever do in its entirety for a certain reason. But as far as 40 years, that'd be tough. We got to do some planning, and you'd have to make something very special because I know, bands have done it. Metallica's doing it. Anthrax just did it. So it's hard. You have to come up with something original. I think just the fact that we're surviving it. Hopefully, we'll be able to go on tour. Maybe we can make a special tour of it. I don't know.
Are you saying that the Ultraviolence tour was already 15 years ago?
I think so. I think it was the 25th year that we did that.
Yeah.
I think.
I really remember that tour. It was excellent.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. It's crazy to think that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I already was thinking that when I saw you were around for 40 years. It's like, man.
Yeah. Or maybe it was the 30-year anniversary that we did it. Might have been the 30. That might make more sense.
Makes more
sense. I think that makes more sense. But that's still what, 10 years ago at least. So
as long as we're still having fun,
yeah. Time's a trip, man.
Yeah. You're about to release a new live album, The Best of Tracks, and I didn't know it was a live album until I started listening to it. It's like, man, this is nice, this is rough, this is and then I saw the titles. I know these tracks.
Yeah.
So how did you come up with that idea?
It was a product of being in quarantine and being in lockdown, and it's just the one thing that kind of carries us through. And when I say us, I don't only just mean us as a band, but I think music fans is music, and that's the thing that carries us through. And to keep our sanity, the Death Angel guys, as I said, we get in the studio and jam, but we did our annual Christmas shows last year, a virtual version of it, just to see how that went over. And we liked the feeling of playing live and getting together, and it gives us, gives our mind some exercise and whatnot. So, put together a set. But this one, after that, we said, hey, why don't we do a broadcast where we're playing songs that we've never played live or have rarely played live. And that way we actually we all have to learn these songs. And I'd say most of them relearn these songs. We haven't played them in years live. And the ones that we've never played live ever, we haven't played since we recorded them. And that's it. So it was a lot of work for us to put this set together. And we thought the fans, the true Death Angel fans would like to see this, because as music fans, we also know with metal, it's one of the few genres that people just don't go to, like, say, iTunes and buy the one song they like. You know what I mean? At least in the metal community, we still like album rock. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's people that were like, holy shit, if they saw us live or whatnot, they're playing this song. I can't believe it. So we kind of wanted to put together a whole set list of just those kind of songs and test the waters for how it went on this broadcast. And we had to rehearse for quite some time because we had to all do our individual homework and then get together and make these songs sound tight, and then we rented out a beautiful hall here in San Francisco called the Great American Music Hall, and went through these sets and filmed it with the intent for that. But with the mixes we heard, sure, they were raw, but they still had like a soul to them, and then when we were broadcasting it, there's a chat room on the broadcast, people, and the amount of people saying, please release this on vinyl, please release this on, CD, or make it available to us. And, then it came across that, and then we started listening back. We're like, is the mix like well enough to make a product of it? And we started listening back and saying, I think it does. Absolutely. And people, as being metal fans too, we love live albums, and especially one with not a lot of overdubs of anything. It's just really raw, and the performance is true. And I think the metal fans, at least the Death Angel fans, really asked for it. And we thought, after listening back, and watching it, we were like, yeah, this is, you know, a valid product that we can stand behind. And other than that, other than the fact that it's a live album, because it is a live performance of us playing them, the one thing that's odd is just, of course, you know, no actual crowd out there, which makes it a little odd.
That's the first thing that's kind of tripped me, thinking it was a studio album.
Yeah.
It has this pure groovy sound to it, pure, and it almost sounded like a studio recording, but rawer.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, the only thing missing is if we could pump in a crowd, but you know, but it's that the crowd will come eventually.
Well, this is one set list I'd love to see live someday, because it's the energy in it and the added bonus that it's rarely played live before. I think it's a good effort. Yeah.
Thank you. Very much appreciate that.
Going back to your roots like this and having to relearn these songs and replay these songs, what does that to you as an artist? Does that also bring something extra to your future endeavors?
Absolutely. Because I mean, for one, when you go back to stuff like that, you start, you remember, it stimulates your mind again, and that helps with future writing as well, you know, and it's just like, oh, you know, you get that kind of feel. And, you know, we're in the process, the very embryonic process, nonetheless, of writing the new record. But, some of that earlier stuff, it has that, you know, just that youthful hyperness to it that we can bring to the new music. And also, right off the bat, one thing is it'll affect the live set list coming up for the tours that we do have, you know, because these are songs that we never brought into the set live. So it's interesting. It already has, because we, say, for example, we did our first live show in almost 2 years a couple weeks ago at a festival here in the Bay Area called the Aftershock Festival in Sacramento, actually just outside. And we had it was Testament, Exodus, Us, Anthrax. We played that day, and it was a quick 30-minute set for us. And 30 minutes, you know, it's not a lot of time to jam in songs, but we opened with, you know, Where They Lay. And that's a song, you know, so something that we played on the Bastard Tracks live, you know, broadcast. All of a sudden, Where They Lay was in this 30-minute set, which if we ever played a 30-minute set, Where They Lay would definitely not have been in it. And I don't even remember the last time Where They Lay was even in a longer set, so to speak. So it's affected us to that degree. Yeah.
Would you say that your songwriting style has changed over the years a lot?
Style-wise, well, of course, over the years, if you go through our whole career, because, you know, in the original lineup, everyone contributed to the writing to a certain degree. You know what I mean? And which I think worked but in the long run, I also think it kind of worked against the band to a certain degree as well. You know, it's just the classic too many cooks in the kitchen, and, you know, there's a lot, you know, it brings out fragile egos in people, or like accepting certain things, and some things make certain records because you feel guilty that person, you know, didn't contribute enough, or, you know, they need to have some sort of validation for that. Whereas now, you know, the songwriting is primarily done by me and Rob now, and he writes pretty much all the music, and I write 90% of the lyrics, you know, and it's made, I think, our records more cohesive, you know, from beginning to end now. And, but although, you know, Ted did write his first, the music for his first song in Death. So there's the first Ted Aguilar, Mark Osegueda, song, which is on the Bastard Tracks, which is Alive and Screaming. Yeah. So that's coming along, but I think, you know, we got a good way of going about it the way, you know, we approach it now. And also I think that, just from the get-go, from growing as songwriters, like Rob will already, when Rob presents me a song, he's already fine-tuned it. He's already, you know, went through the bullshit and sifted out what doesn't work. Where before we'd have to listen to demos and it's like, oh, that riff doesn't belong there, that riff. He's already kind of went through it and went like, look, this is the structural work with this. And then me and him will go through it. And of course, I'll write my lyrics and melodies, and then we'll demo that. And then that way we only have some minor tweaks to do to change it, you know?
So you could say that you have just enough cooks in the kitchen at the moment.
I say so, but that being said, we're welcoming Ted into it. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And with a lot of major groups, that tends to be the case. It's there's two guys that kind of are the main songwriters, and the others contribute. Everyone from the Beatles to Queen, everything. You know what I mean? It's always, and they all contribute, but there's always the two main songwriters.
I saw that Metallica has a masterclass out these days, how to be a band.
Yeah. Yes.
So what would be the Death Angel answer to that? How would you be a band?
Oh man, that's I say perseverance and how would I say patience and a lot of deep breathing. and good attorneys. No, but I mean, I make light of it, but definitely perseverance is the main thing. And everything from believing in yourself and believing in music, and also not taking, how would I say this? You just gotta take what you read about yourselves with a grain of salt, because there's always going to be people that are against it or don't like it. And in this modern day of technology, everyone's a critic now. And the unfortunate downside of technology is everyone has a much larger soapbox to preach from. And they, and it makes everyone feel as if their word is gold. Mm-hmm. And now the artist can read these from in every which way, in every which direction. And you're going to read a lot of negative stuff about you. And I'd say the best thing to do is you can't take these critics preaching from their bedrooms as as the be all say all. Yeah. The be all say all is your heart. If you're doing what you want to do, then you're doing it right.
Preach. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Problem is, we can all have our soapbox these days, but we have a big city square filled with soapboxes and too few people listening.
Hey, I like being a part of this soapbox, so thank you.
We'd love having you, man. Would you say there are still better tracks out there that you have considered or perhaps not considered and didn't make the list?
Oh, for sure. I mean, that being said, because it was hard to narrow it down to this without making it even longer. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And what we did, how we went about it, we put it on our socials. We put out, a question to all our fans: what songs would you like to see that Death Angel never plays live? So we did that. We put that out there, and we waited like maybe a couple weeks or a month maybe, and then we went through all those lists with the ones that were that won the most, maybe say votes. We didn't give literally the people mentioned the most, because it wasn't a list like a box to tick or anything. The ones that were mentioned the most, and then we also sent out an email to the 5 band members. All 5 of us. We all picked 3.
Yeah.
So with those mixed, that's how we came up with the list of what we wanted to learn. So, and if you put that out there on your socials, everyone has a different, song they want to hear live. So there's always going to be more than what we could do. And, yeah.
Is there one that you would have loved to see make the list that did?
Which one? I remember, what was my list? God, that goes back quite a ways. Let's see. I mean, my main one that I wanted to make the list that did was Absence of Light. That was the one I was pushing for. And I love that song, and it made it. And I think it surprised everyone when we played it, because everyone in the band too was like, oh wait, this song is heavy, Yeah. So there was that one, and God, I have to think back, because I know there was a couple we didn't touch that I wanted to do. God, what were they? My memory's not what it quite used to be.
We all fall apart, man.
Yeah, we do. Man.
It's my fault. I ask difficult questions.
No, that's a good question. I like, you're getting the little mouse running in there. one that I like to play live, but we used to do it. It used to be part of the Death Angel set pretty regularly, but we haven't done it in a long time, which I think I just wanted to do it because I missed playing it live, was Devil Incarnate. I like playing Devil Incarnate. It's, and we just haven't played it live in a long time, but, it didn't make the cut this time because, and I guess for good reason, because it used to be part of the regular set once in a while. Yeah, you know what I'd like, but see, it's hard because another thing that's like, say, on this, the one thing you'll notice that's lacking is the ultraviolence. Mm-hmm. Anything off the ultraviolence. But that being said, I think that's because that album was such, that album had such a presence in the thrash scene that, the only song I could really picture that we hadn't played live is Final Death. And that was one I'd actually would have liked to play. So I guess let's just say Final Death then. Yeah.
Well, that's a really nice song to play next time you hit Holland, huh?
yeah, I know. I can't wait to get back out there. We love the Netherlands. We love Holland. Well, it's just, that's Death Angel's home away from home, so to speak. Yeah.
How's your year going to look tour-wise early next year? Do you have any plans?
To tour,
to perform? Get out there.
Yeah, we are. We were supposed to be touring right now. Mm-hmm. For in the States here, we were supposed to be touring for the Bay Strikes Back tour, that Testament, Exodus, and Death Angel, but that got postponed. So now that's April, May, and so the new dates have been postponed till April, May 2022. They're all booked, and it's been announced. Fingers crossed, everything starts easing up, and everyone in science and whatnot and gets their heads wrapped around this so we can make this tour happen. Mm-hmm. And then after that, we're supposed to, when that tour ends, we're supposed to get out to Europe and do the summer festival, season again next year, which, that's something we missed so much. It's
we all did.
Yeah. So let's hope that we can all get back to doing that. That's the main plan, and just that everything will fall into place. My goal is that everything falls into place starting our tour in April.
Sounds like a plan. Somewhere in between new records?
We're at the embryonic stages of writing the new record. That's, we there's a couple songs we have, and I know Rob's working on riffs right now. And as I said, he sends me full structures of songs, and then I come up with the lyrics and the melodies. So, but I wouldn't say we don't have side one yet. We're not even that far in, but it's there. It's there. It's there. It's coming.
I bet you have a lot of lyrics for contagion, viruses.
Yeah, right. I mean, I'm sure somehow in some way it'll inspire something to about my lyrics. Yeah. But I try to be ambiguous enough about it. But in one form or another, how it's affected me will definitely be an inspiration to a song. That's for sure. Yeah.
I love having you on the show. Do you have any last words for your fans out there, our viewers?
Yeah, I mean, it's just that, hey, I just want to tell everyone to, try to keep your head up as long as you can. Try to keep a positive outlook on this. I know it's been tough on you guys, because the reason I know that is because it's been tough on me. It's been tough on all of us. And the one thing we could bond on is we're all going through this together. And the one thing that we're fortunate about is the scene we're in. The metal scene is not like any other music scene. We are a community. And that's one thing that lacks in all other music genres. We are a community. And when this opens up, we're going to celebrate together in the most beautiful way. And that's with metal music. Yeah, for sure.
Those are very wise words.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your time. And
absolutely.
I'm looking forward to meeting on the road.
Hey, man. Me too.
Metal on Loud.
Cheers.